All right, it looks like it could be happening, Jet fans. Brett Favre 2.0. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers could potentially be headed to the Big Apple to go play for the Gang Green. There's a lot of reports coming out now, a lot of moving parts. It's moving fast, folks. And it looked like the Jets were in serious trouble, missing out on quarterback Derek Carr, who signed with the New Orleans Saints yesterday. He seemed to be their guy. They were meeting with him multiple times throughout the week. They were talking about how he could be a Hall of Famer if he won a Super Bowl with the Jets. It seemed like that was their guy, but less than 24 hours later, they are in all-out press mode to go and get Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, it seems like. And this seems to make sense. There was the only move left at quarterback for the Jets. Even though it was reported they were out of the Aaron Rodgers business, they seem to be all the way back in. Could have been a smokescreen. Maybe they never wanted Derek Carr. Maybe Derek Carr knew that. Maybe they always wanted Aaron Rodgers, but it's getting really interesting out there, folks. The relationship between the Packers and Rodgers has deteriorated over the last 2 seasons. We know about the ayahuasca trips and the darkness retreats, and honestly, the Packers were just fed up with it. They believe he checked out mentally after he signed that 2-year extension last offseason. They were not happy with him this year. Didn't work with the young receivers, didn't help develop this team, and all he did was bitch and complain. So they're sick of him. They're ready to move on. They don't really care what Aaron Rodgers' decision was this offseason. They were moving on to Jordan Love, it seems like, always, and now they have a potential suitor for Rodgers. Now, it kind of started early today with a little bit of flirting, like they were talking to Rodgers. The Packers gave Rodgers permission and the Jets permission to talk to each other. You have to give each other permission, otherwise that would be tampering. So that seemed to be the start of things, but then news was flying in fast. Apparently, Jets team officials are hopping on the owner's private jet and flying out to California to meet with Rodgers, and this was met with massive reception from the Jets players. I mean, once the report came out, we got Sauce Gardner here talking about, he goes, "I promise if you become a Jet, I won't pick you off in practice," and he'll burn the cheesehead. Famously, Sauce Gardner rocking the cheesehead. Breece Hall in full press also. Don't mind me just manifesting Aaron Rodgers. The Jets seem to really, really want their guy. And that's what Rodgers wants, right? He wants to be loved. He wants everyone to think how great Rodgers thinks of himself. That's what he wants, and Green Bay's over it, and the Jets are desperate. The Jets haven't had a good quarterback since Mark Sanchez, and a lot of you will question Mark Sanchez. So they really have struggled to find any sort of quarterback play over their entire history. I mean, even the best quarterback in franchise history, Joe Namath, was a 500 quarterback. So the Jets never seem to have a quarterback. It was a big story when they got Favre. It worked out for a lot of the season. Now it could be even bigger to get Rodgers. But let's think of this from a team standpoint. The Jets were really, really close last year. They have an elite defense. We're talking top 3 defense in the NFL potentially. They have both Rookie of the Years. Sauce Gardner on the defense, Garrett Wilson on the offense. So this is a young, stacked football team. That defense was elite. Now, they fell off towards the end of the season, but when they knew the offense couldn't score a freaking touchdown in a game, they kind of quit, which you don't want to see, but it's really hard week in and week out to grind it out. Your offense can't manage more than 10 points, and you're losing 13-10 games. It's very disheartening. So with the addition of Rodgers, Breece Hall back coming off of an ACL tear, the only real weakness is their offensive line, but Rodgers still moved pretty good last year. He was still able to roll out of the pocket, make those extending plays, and they got the playmakers on the outside that will really help things out. I think this is a perfect fit for the Jets. I know the Jets don't want it, but you are in win now mode. You got a 2-year window with Rodgers. If you can get Rodgers to commit for 2 seasons, I think you will have a good enough team to be in the playoffs, competing in the AFC. The Buffalo Bills are kind of a big question mark right now. You know, they have the better quarterback in Josh Allen, but it's a big question mark. New England, Mac Jones, I don't buy that. Miami and Mike McDaniels, they don't really have a quarterback. Tua has brain damage, concussions. Who the hell knows if he's ever back to playing at quarterback? So this is a great opportunity for the Jets. And if you're head coach Robert Saleh, you have to strike while the iron is hot. You've done a great job building this team. Besides the quarterback, you whiffed on Zach Wilson at 2. You got to erase that mistake. I mean, the Jets aren't used to winning. They have the longest playoff drought streak in the NFL. They haven't made the playoffs since 2010. So 13 plus years now. I think they're instantly vaulted into a playoff spot, probably competing for the division. I mean, they split with Buffalo last year. I don't see why they can't split or beat Buffalo twice. They lost twice in New England. That's not happening again if they bring in Aaron Rodgers. I think this is a great move by the Jets. It's a little bit risky because it's not a long-term bet. You're kind of going all in now, but that's the way this thing works in the NFL. Like, Robert Saleh is going to get fired if he doesn't make the playoffs in this next season, I think. You can't have 3 straight non-playoff years and really expect to stick around in today's NFL. So I think you go all in on Rodgers. The question is, how much do you give up to get him? If you cannot give up a first-round pick, that would be really nice, because I don't know how much leverage Green Bay has. If Rodgers says he's playing, but he's not going to come back to the Packers don't want him, what's the value there? You kind of got to get rid of him. You got to have a team kind of eat that contract because you don't want to have that sitting on your books. It's a big, fat contract. We all know how bad it could be just to have him there. Be an expensive-ass backup if they're riding with Jordan Love, and he is back in Green Bay. So I think you can kind of finagle this, maybe give him only a second and a fourth, second and a third. I'd be much more willing to do that. Get your first-round pick, maybe draft an offensive lineman, maybe another weapon, perhaps a tight end. Just depends, but go in on the offense. Your defense is good. It's as solid as can be. You don't quite have to pay really anybody yet. They're still young. So I think this is a golden opportunity for the Jets to instantly hop right back in to the playoffs and compete in the AFC. Now, the Bengals are going to be tough again. And the Chiefs might take a step back, another Super Bowl. They're going to lose some pieces. So it feels wide open in the AFC. A lot of great quarterbacks, but the Jets defense is for real. They stood toe-to-toe with all of those great offenses and shut them down. So great move here by the Jets if they can get this done for the right price. And honestly, as a Vikings fan, I'm glad Rodgers out of my division. I'd much rather see Jordan Love twice a year. Now watch me eat my words saying that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who would be the best move here? Is it good for the Jets to go get Rodgers? Is it a bad move? Is it good for Green Bay to move on from Rodgers? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.